Hello and welcome to Sales Autonomy channel. If you already know how to write a subscriber and publisher nodes in ROS, please watch this video until the end. In this video, I'm going to talk about three important ROS functions that can be used for spinning and running your ROS nodes. These are spin once, and asynchronous spins. Okay, let me start with a very simple example here. So imagine that we have two nodes. Node A is publishing some messages and node B is subscribing to those messages. So here I have only node B, which is a subscriber, and there is a message callback that is subscribing to some string messages. Whenever the message is received, it's just gonna print this I hear the message, for example. But here's the problem. I don't see any spinner or a kind of a loop to check continuously if there is a message in the callback or not. But ROS has this capability, has a function technically that can check the callback continuously and see if there is a message in the callback. So that function is called spin. ROS spin can just spins the node and check the callback and see if there is a message in the callback. But it's gonna block the whole main thread. So you can technically run any other task right after the spin function because it checks the node continuously and see if there is a message in the callback. So let's say I'm going to perform some other task right after the spin function. So let's say, for example, I just want to use ROS info for printing a message. Let's say perform some task. So in practice, I'm not able to see this message because, as I mentioned, this spin function is gonna block the main thread until the node is shut down. So yeah, be careful. This spin function continuously check for incoming messages. So it's gonna block my main thread, and I shouldn't be able to see this, perform some task messages. But what should we do? What if we want to run some task right after the spin? What should we do? So in this case, we can use another type of function. It's called spin once, and then we just need to run these two lines of code inside the while loop. And this while loop needs to be basically run in a specific rate. So let's say while ROS is okay, and I'm gonna basically move this line of two codes inside of this while loop, and then I need to also make a rate for the for this while loop to specify in what rate we need to basically run the while loop. So let's say rate, and then loop rate is, let's say, 10 Hertz. And then here simply I can just loop rate is sleep. Oops. 10 Hertz. So what does this guy do? So basically this is gonna run the callback from the subscriber. The spin function is going to run the message callback and check the message callback and see if there is a message inside the queue. If there is a message, it's gonna print this message, and then if it's not, it's okay. Just iterate over, and then it goes to the next line, which is going to be this ROS info message. And then after 0.1 second or 10 millisecond, it's gonna iterate to the next one. So it's gonna go to the next iteration. So yeah, very simple and easy. But what is the main problem with this spin once? So I can say one of the main problem is just loop rate. Here I just hard coded, like I used 10 Hertz for the this while loop frequency. But if I use a very large number, and while my message callback is coming in the lower rate, this node may have some CPU usage problem. Similarly, if I use a very small number while my message callback coming in the higher rate, this node may miss some important messages from the callback. So a programmer needs to be very careful to use the right number for the rate of this while loop. So if you have multiple publisher and subscriber, what should we do in that case? What type of a spinner we can use? So for sure we can use ROS spin, but the problem is ROS spin is running in the single thread. So in this case, we may miss some messages from the fast and high rate topic. For example, here topic 1 is delay and low rate, but topic 2 is fast and high rate. But since ROS spin is going to block the main thread and everything, and all the subscriber are running in the single thread, we may miss some messages from the fast and high rate topic. So there is another functionality in ROS that basically you can run each subscriber to a separate thread. So we are running the node in the basically parallel fashion. So I'm gonna delete this, and instead I'm gonna run ROS async. It's called async spinner. And then here also you can use assign the number of threads from your CPU to this node. For example, I'm running in 2 threads, and then you can just simply set a spinner and spinner.start, and you can just also run some perform some task here, probably perform some task, and then at the end you can just say ROS wait for shutdown. Yeah, that's it. Simply you can just use multiple thread for running multiple nodes or multiple subscriber and publisher. So but what is the problem with this case? So one potential drawback of using async spinner in the ROS node is basically it increases the complexity of the node compared to use the spin ones or spin functions. Since all the callbacks are running in the parallel, they must be thread safe. Like if your callbacks are accessing some shared data, you should use some mutexes to avoid any race condition between the callbacks. So yeah, it increased some complexity compared with the running in the single thread. In the next videos, I will provide more practical example for ROS spinner. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Thank you.